Every 50 years, a crimson moon bleeds across the sky. And on that night, she returns. She is a whisper in the wind, a shadow that leaves no footprints. The village elders say she is a creature of legend, an ageless witch bound by an ancient oath. No one knows her name, no one knows her age. They only know that time itself seems to fear her, and that life always demands a price. Her hair is as white as ash, her skin pale, with delicate, vein-like marks of red tracing the corners of her eyes. She carries an old lantern, its flame burning with a strange, crimson fire. Her voice, when she speaks, is softer than falling leaves, an echo that seems to come from a place beyond our world. The story always begins the same way. The village, nestled in a valley as old as the hills, begins to wither. The riverbed dries up, its muddy floor cracking under the relentless gaze of the red moon. The wells, once sources of life, turn bitter, their water poisoned and undrinkable. A hush falls over the homes as children's cries are silenced by thirst and fear. The air grows heavy, thick with the scent of decay and despair. The land is dying, and with it, the hope of its people. The elders, their faces etched with the lines of generations of worry, gather in the village square. They grip their weathered wooden staffs, their knuckles white. Their voices, when they speak, are grave and slow, carrying the weight of prophecy. The red moon has come, one proclaims, his words swallowed by the anxious silence. She will walk again. The villagers exchange terrified glances. They know who he means. The witch woman. To them, she is both a curse and a blessing, a specter of their darkest fears and their only salvation. They are taught to fear her, to respect her, but never, ever to look into her eyes. And then, just as the last ray of sunlight vanishes, she arrives. There is no sound of footsteps, only an eerie echo that seems to originate from inside your own mind. A haunting red glow pierces the dense fog that blankets the village, and she emerges from the mist. The crimson light from her lantern casts long, dancing shadows that twist and writhe like tormented spirits. She glides through the silent streets, a tattered black cloak with a crimson lining billowing around her. The villagers press themselves against the walls of their homes, holding their breath, their heads bowed. They feel her presence like a drop of ice on a summer's day, a chilling, unnerving force that commands absolute stillness. She doesn't look at them. Her focus is elsewhere, on a place that exists beyond their sight, beyond their understanding. Her destination is the ancient stone circle that stands on the hill overlooking the village, a place where the veil between worlds is said to be at its thinnest. The stone circle hums with a forgotten power under the full glare of the blood-red moon. The air crackles with energy as she steps into its center. She raises her lantern high, and the red fire within it seems to swell, to pulse with a life of its own. It spills over the lantern's edge, not like normal fire, but like liquid light, flowing into the ancient carvings on the stones, making them glow with an otherworldly incandescence. Then, she speaks. Her voice is a mere whisper, yet it carries across the clearing, each word a spell woven from sacrifice. What was taken, return, she murmurs, her voice resonating with the stones. What was broken, flow again. Her hands begin to tremble, the strain of the ritual becoming visible. Let my breath become their water. As she speaks the final words, the crimson fire in her lantern dims, its vibrant glow fading to a weak ember. The light in the stones flickers and dies. A deep exhaustion settles upon her features, but the ritual is not yet complete. This is the part of the legend the villagers whisper about in hushed tones, the truth that only the elders truly comprehend. She doesn't cast spells in the way of other mages. She doesn't draw power from the earth or the moon. She gives it from herself. As she stands there, swaying in the sudden darkness, a single, brilliant red feather materializes from her chest. It seems woven from pure light and life force, a fragment of her very soul. It floats gently downwards, a stark crimson teardrop against the night, before dissolving into nothingness. Just before it touches the ground, the witch woman staggers, a hand clutching her cloak where the feather emerged. A faint, almost imperceptible smile touches her lips. It is a smile of sorrow, of relief, of profound sacrifice. Her power is not in creation, but in giving. Each spell, each miracle, drains her of her remaining life, a slow, 50-year-long act of self-immolation. As dawn breaks, painting the sky in hues of gold and rose, a miracle unfolds. A roar echoes through the valley as water, clear and sweet, surges through the dead riverbed. The wells, once choked with bitterness, overflow with fresh, life-giving water. A child's excited shout pierces the morning air. The water's back. The village erupts in celebration. Laughter and joyous cries replace the silence of despair. People rush to the river, scooping up the precious water in their hands, their faces alight with gratitude and relief. They celebrate the return of life, the blessing they have received. But few spare a thought for the one who paid the price. On the hill, the stone circle is empty. The witch woman is gone, vanished as silently as she arrived. All that remains is a single, perfect red feather lying on the central stone, a silent testament to her sacrifice. An elder picks it up, his touch reverent. "She saved us." "Again," he says softly. Another elder, his eyes on the horizon, adds with a heavy heart, "And one day, she will have nothing left to give." And so, a new tradition was born from this recurring cycle of despair and salvation. Now, whenever the 50-year cycle nears its end and the moon begins to take on its ominous reddish hue, the villagers do not just wait in fear, they act. On the night of the red moon, a small bowl of clean, fresh water is placed outside every door. It is a humble offering, a prayer, a desperate plea to the universe. They leave the water, hoping that it might quench her thirst, that it might offer her some small measure of strength. They pray that this time, she will not have to give a piece of herself to save them. They pray that the witch woman, their silent, suffering guardian, will never need to return, because some guardians don't save the world with a sword or a triumphant spell. They save it by slowly, quietly, disappearing from it. Thanks for watching. If this story touched you, please like, share, and subscribe to AK Storytales for more Legends from the Shadows series.